This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents and squeak continue all the way to episode number 39 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Ye are blood of my blood and bone of my bone. I give you my body, that we two might be one. I give you my spirit, till our life shall be done. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Fort Pierce.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
All five of us are here. Yay!
Yay! Always cause for celebration.
Yes. So, we've got another fun show. Lots of good stuff to discuss. So we will, some of it we've already discussed ad nauseum before we started recording, but now we'll discuss it again so that you can hear it.
Rehearsal.
Yeah. It's a rehearsal discussion.
I got all the kinks.
So
It
let's.
sounds good when we get to it.
So let's jump straight into news.
Alright, our first bit of news. Arthur Darvill is joining the Flash Arrow spin-off. Time Master Rip Hunter has been cast in the forthcoming Arrow Flash team-up spin-off, reports K-Site TV. The role goes to Arthur Darvill, best known for his portrayal of Matt Smith's companion Maury Williams on Doctor Who. The CW describes Rip Hunter as a roguish time traveler who hides the strains of being responsible for history itself behind a facade of charm and wit. The son of Justice League member Booster Gold, Rip Hunter is generally credited with the invention of technologically powered time travel in the DC universe, as opposed to those who can time travel under their own power, as we've seen on The Flash. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the third Doctor Who alumni, if I'm not mistaken, that has been in this universe. We've had John Barrowman and Alex Kingston. Well, John Barrowman's currently in Arrow, and Alex Kingston has made guest appearances, so she was, and she could very well come again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I forgot the actor, but the actor who played Dr. Moon in Doctor Who, didn't he play,
yes, he was.
What's his name?
Didn't he play
Walter.
the house? Walter,
Yes.
Yes! Okay, so this is the fourth then. Okay. I guess I was counting companions.
Yeah. Or really recognizable faces and names.
Still, which is, third companion,
Yeah.
fourth,
Person.
The CW definitely left its Doctor.
Although, with Arthur Darvill, now we've got two, two Tennant era, and, because John Barrowman and, what's his name, are both Tennant era, whereas Alex Kingston and Arthur Darvill are more primarily Matt Smith era.
Yeah. Alex is the bridge between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel that one.
She's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Well,
She's mostly Matt Smith with
mostly
two Tennant episodes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, David Tennant.
Episodes for Dr. Moon.
Yeah. And meanwhile, David Tennant's across the street going, "Hi, I'm over at Marvel."
Yep.
It's good to see our favorite Doctor Who actors still working
And stuff that we can watch that it's not like
and stuff that we actually know about and
would actually watch.
would actually watch.
Well, stuff we're not watching
It's cool that he's
specifically for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like
I
this.
was watching Broad David Tennant.
Yeah.
I like the character description because it almost sounds like it could be the Doctor himself.
I
Yeah.
know.
It'll
From
be
the
interesting
description
to see
that
how he
provided
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
When did you make it into the DC universe? Come on. Oh, whatever the spin-off is going to
Well,
end
it
up
must be
being.
a future incarnation if it's played by Arthur Darvill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decided John Smith just didn't miss the boat for an alias.
That's funny. We got companions in DC. We have doctors in Marvel because Christopher Eccleston was in Thor: Dark World. So it's like, how soon is it before Matt Smith is in a Marvel something or other? Although Karen was in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is Marvel, so that kind of screws things up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe Matt will further screw things up by being in DC, something DC instead.
Well, Matt's in the new Terminator movie, so that's a whole other thing.
Matt's staying neutral in all this. He's going to be in Terminator.
Somebody needs to warn Peter Capaldi. He's got to have plans now.
And Jenna.
Just in case.
Well, Jenna was in
Captain America. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so somebody needs to tell Peter Capaldi he needs to pick a side. Marvel or DC.
Peter Capaldi he'll be yeah.
To the left
Peter
or to the
Capaldi
right?
could be in Infinity War or something.
Oh, bye.
Look, Marvel DC, we'll cast it for you.
Yeah.
The Fiveish Fangirls doing the hard job.
Yes. Podcasters, fangirls, and apparently now casting agents.
Hey, we know what we're doing.
We do it all.
We've seen what these actors have done.
Yep. Moving on. Speaking of Arrow.
Moving on to
DC and Arrow and all that, kind of.
Arrow's Stephen Amell has been cast as Casey Jones for Teenage
That movie with the turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
2. That is a mouthful, isn't it?
I tripped over teenage.
It's a mouthful, I will admit.
From Green Arrow to now, I can't talk. Can someone else take this?
Pretty much Casey Jones is going to be in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Which, if you saw the first one from back in the day, you're familiar with Casey Jones somewhat, so.
Yeah. He was kind of a bit of a vigilante, guy.
So nothing new.
Turtles.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Yeah. Apparently he was
a little more.
Yeah.
A little more comedic, I guess.
Yeah.
Than Oliver Queen is, but then again, Arrow's not exactly a barrel of laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes from
the territory.
Well, yeah. I'm just comparing him to Oliver Queen, and Oliver Queen has been like he's been wandering around looking like he swallowed a jar of pickles lately. I'm just like, man, you're even more depressing than you were in season 1. Like, granted, what's been going on in this season of Arrow? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you follow Stephen Amell on like Facebook and you see all his videos, oh my gosh, he's such a hoot, and so I think he can. He'll do well as Casey Jones, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with the character. I haven't even seen the first Ninja Turtles movie just because it's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
But I might actually see this one. So I'm like, anyway, I did watch the Nostalgia Critic video of it, and I'm like, okay, I think I know the gist of it. I don't even think I need to see the first movie.
Yeah.
You showed me all the good parts and told me what the bad parts were, so I'm like, I got it. Anyway, yay, Stephen Amell.
Just exactly.
Well, whatever keeps the kids happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that. But the new movie's supposed to start production later this year, right after Arrow finishes up filming its 3rd season. So obviously Steven will be free. He's got an opening in his schedule.
They should be finishing up pretty soon because I think I heard rumors they were filming the finale like this week or next week or something. I don't remember, but yeah, I heard tell it was almost done.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Look for Stephen Amell at the movie theaters. And I will probably have a hard time looking at him and be like, "You're Oliver Queen. You're not Casey Jones." Unless they do something different with his look.
When's they gonna show up?
And where's Diggle? Where's Felicity? Roy? I don't care if Laurel shows up. Although Laurel has been a little more palatable. Palatable? Whatever that word is lately. Palatable. Palatable, thank you. You're not the only one having word issues.
I don't need to speak English.
On a podcast?
No.
Talking's overrated.
We'll just use sign language. You don't know sign language, right?
We'll write stuff down.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat. Where all our listeners can read it.
Alrighty. Moving along.
We're still in the news.
While we can still talk. So we knew that we know that Disney is making a live action version of Beauty and the Beast. There's a live action version of The Jungle Book coming. There are rumors that they're going to remake Pete's Dragon. And supposedly Tim Burton is going to make a live action version of Dumbo. But now they have added Winnie the Pooh and Mulan to the list.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wait, Mulan, I think Winnie the Pooh. I have a few ideas how this could happen. I wonder if Winnie the Pooh's going to be more like from the point of view of Christopher Robin.
Well, it's supposed to focus on Christopher Robin as an adult, so it's not a reboot, more of a continuation. But now Christopher Robin, I guess, is older.
Well, that sounds interesting.
But still, it's just it's like I said before we started recording. I just want to walk into like downtown Hollywood and go, does anybody have any original ideas for a movie?
Christopher Nolan does.
Really?
You know, people can say what they want about the scientific accuracy of Interstellar. At least it was an original idea.
There you go.
I really enjoyed it.
That was good.
Exactly. Which
That was a good one.
Yeah.
keep meaning to
I mean,
watch. Interstellar is on my to-watch list, which is about a mile long at this point, so...
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, so is mine.
It's good.
Yeah,
it drags in a couple places,
And I'm
but
not
other
sure
than that,
where
it's
on the list it is, so I don't know when I'll get to it.
You know what?
Yeah.
It may make, physics
Sometime in the next decade,
professors grind
hopefully.
their teeth. Yeah. It may make physics professors grind their teeth, but it's science fiction. I don't care.
Yeah. Emphasis on the word fiction.
It's an enjoyable movie.
good.
Yes. It sounds like it could be plausible. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And I like Matthew McConaughey.
That's why it's science fiction, not science fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But going back to this live action Mulan, I've heard people float around the idea of Ming-Na Wen playing Mulan since she did the voice in the animated movie. But
Well, she could definitely kick butt.
Her to play, yeah. You know what I want her to play though? I want her to play the matchmaker. If they do it. Can you? I mean, she doesn't have to be like as disapproving or as flamboyant. I'm not even flamboyant. What as over the top, I guess, as the matchmaker in the animated. But she could do the disapproving, you're no good, you will never never bring your family honor type of thing. I don't know, because I was thinking of roles she could play. I don't know that I'd want to see her as the mother. Probably not as the grandmother. No. But I think she'd be hilariously awesome as the matchmaker. But that's just me.
Yeah.
If they were together at all. Other than that, casting for Mulan, I have no idea.
Yeah. I've seen at least one or two ideas for the main guy.
Chang?
Yeah, that's the one. I've seen some pretty good ideas, like pretty amazing fan casts for him. So.
Do you remember who any of them were? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're amazing, but...
I guess you would have said so.
Troll Tumblr, I'm sure you'll find the post somewhere.
Yeah. I just... Ugh. I don't know.
They could get George Takei for the Emperor.
There you go.
Ooh, yes.
Even though he's Japanese and Mulan is a
Chinese
story.
Yeah. It'd work. Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, at least it would be better than if they whitewashed the entire thing.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I think they'll get this one right. I'm not worried about
Yeah.
that.
It's been hit and miss. Like, Maleficent was like, but Cinderella seems to be doing well, so...
Yeah, Cinderella was good. But that one was, straight up fairy tale, so...
Yeah.
Which is what Cinderella is.
Yeah. So. It's like, visually, we know they're going to be good. It's just they need to do the story right. It's like,
And I can see Mulan, like, being a real action flick.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want them to incorporate the talking dragon, though. I mean, Mushu was good in the animated movie. I don't know that it would work so well in a live action, but I mean, they could do like a nod to it the way they did with Cinderella, because they didn't have talking mice in there, but she kind of had a relationship with them. So I'm kind of thinking maybe maybe she has a talisman or like some object from her ancestors that brings her good luck, and she kind of personifies it. To,
Well, I don't think Eddie Murphy's doing anything, so.
That I know about him in this one.
They need a voice.
Sorry, Eddie.
He's still available.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
I know, I'm sitting here like already writing this in my head, and I'm like, I'm not even working on it.
Fiveish Fangirls casting department. Yeah.
and the plot, the screen story treatment department.
Yeah.
Do it all.
All right. Moving on. Speaking of reboots.
There may be a reboot of The Muppet Show. Alright. Okay, I'm having trouble.
Yeah.
With The Big Bang Theory's Bill Prady co-writing a script for a pilot presentation, the series will be presented before advertisers. Wait, what?
I guess they have to pitch this stuff to advertisers to see.
Yeah, this May.
Yeah.
If executives like what they see, the Muppets reboot could then be fast-tracked with two series orders. Lord Walk from the Sun's Bob Cashell will also co-write the presentation, and Randall
Einhorn
will produce. According to Hollywood Reporter, the concept would showcase the regular Muppet cast gathering outside the ABC studios looking to start a series revival, but must convince Miss Piggy to come on board before doing so.
Sounds about right.
Now, yeah. Now, as one who heard about the greatness of the Muppet Show, back in the 70s and early 80s, and I did see Muppets Tonight, but it's never felt the same way. I'm kind of excited about this. For the fact that I'm like, I mean, the Muppet movies, the new Muppet movies, they've been doing, they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
And like when they did the Muppets, and they were talking about getting the gang back together, and they did the telethon to save the Muppet Theater and everything. I'm like, are they actually going to do a new Muppet show? Because that would be awesome, and I want to see it. So if it's done right, and if it's I don't see why these advertisers wouldn't want it, but who knows about what these people decide. But
the thing is with the Muppet Show, what I loved about the Muppet Show was that it was the Muppets, but it was also that variety type programming that was really popular back in like the 50s and 60s, with like Sonny and Cher and the Carol Burnett Show and all that. And the Muppet Show was that, but with the Muppets. And it was awesome. And I would love to see like those types of shows back on TV. I always like watch. If I catch like the infomercial for the Carol, you can get the Carol Burnett Show like the box set, like the infomercial. And I'm like, yes, bring that back. I want to see this. And it's like I don't know how well it would go over, even with the Muppets staying mainstream. I think it might actually be like a good show for maybe like Netflix. With like they're doing with the Netflix original series to do the reboot and have it like on something like Netflix. I think it would fare well, and I would definitely watch it. I mean, I'll watch it wherever they put it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I would think maybe if they could do something like, with like Daredevil and, the other programming that they have where, they can film like an entire season, put it up on Netflix, and let people watch it as they have time.
Yeah.
And, based on the stats that they get from that, they can decide whether to make more. So.
I just want the Muppets on my TV.
Well, yes.
Or movie. I want the Muppets, that's all.
Yeah. Because the Muppets are awesome.
Of course they are.
Yeah. So.
Alright. And next bit of news, if you were on Facebook on April Fool's Day. there was a lot of April Fooling going around, but one thing that there was no April Fooling going on is Salt Lake Comic-Con has announced its first slate of guests in September. And the guests are Ian Somerhalder, who is from Vampire Diaries. Don't watch that one. Scott Wilson, Walking Dead. Don't watch that one. Austin St. John, who was the original Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, yeah, I'll be checking that out. Joel Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater 3000. I guess he's the original Mike. But he wasn't Mike, he was Joel. And last but certainly not least, the one I'm the most excited about, Alex Kingston, speaking of, And the funniest thing about this was that they had like the little teaser image and in the days leading up to the announcement, and they had like a silhouette. There are silhouettes of all the guests. They're like, who are we going to bring? And one of the silhouettes had like big curly hair, and I'm like, that's Alex Kingston. She's coming to Salt Lake Comic Con. I'll bet you anything. And I was right. And
is that hair?
Yeah. And they also announced a couple of authors who are coming. There's some pretty big names. They got Jim Butcher, who is the author of the Dresden Files books. Mm-hmm. And then also the other one I'm like super way excited for is Terry Brooks, who, if you don't know, wrote the Sword of Shannara and the Shannara series. And the one of his that I love the most, which is kind of his forgotten redheaded stepchild, but I love it anyway, is the Magic Kingdom of Landover series. Which, if you don't know, the plot is that there's this cynical lawyer from Chicago, Ben Holliday, who he's in a real dark place in his life. His wife has died. His job's not going so well, and he finds a for sale notice in a really high end catalog to be the king of a magic fantasy kingdom, and he thinks it's like some Disneyland type of thing. So he's like, oh, you know, what the heck? My life isn't going anywhere anyway. So he ends up buying a magic kingdom, and it's an actual magic kingdom, and he becomes the king. But there's like all these problems going on, and he has to fix them. And the series, and through the course of the series, there's like all these, you know, madcap adventures. And he goes back and forth between Landover and in the real world. And I'm like, oh, I love this series. And it's a little more straightforward than Shannara. But there's only 7 books in the series. 6 or 7. No, 6. And they're really good. So it goes in order, and it's awesome.
Thanks, Chrissy. Just put another book series on my. I read his novel.
Okay.
Only 7 books.
Shannara.
Only.
Okay, listen to me. Shannara has like a million trilogies. So when I say only, I'm comparing it to Shannara, which I cannot, for the life of me, keep track of. I would love to catch up with the Shannara series. I've read it. I love it. But I haven't read it in so long, I don't even know where it is anymore. So Magic Kingdom of Landover is a little more easier for me to get a handle on. So anyway, Terry Brooks is coming to Salt Lake Comic Con. Alex King's coming to Salt Lake Comic Con. Woo-hoo! I'm excited. Salt Lake Comic Con is coming. It's awesome. So hooray! Yay! Salt Lake Comic Con is September. Oh crap! What day? It's like September 24th through 26th. Yeah, something like that. And there will be more. I mean, there have been some people grumbling like, I don't even watch all the shows. Who are all these people? And I'm like, look, they're gonna announce more people as it goes. So,
especially this far out.
Care about.
Yeah.
And they're gonna announce people that the people who are interested in these people, they're not gonna be interested in those people.
Yeah. I mean, good grief! The first Comic Con they did, they announced Sticky the night before.
Yeah.
So don't get your shorts in a wad.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm trying to think of a classy way to say that, and I did say.
All right.
Yay, convention news.
Yeah, and we have more convention news because 'tis the season. So I know I already shared some of this on our Facebook page, but Indie PopCon is quickly coming. It's at the end of June.
Sooner than either mine or Chrissy's.
Yes,
convention.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should have announced that one first.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We should have gone.
June.
It's too late now, but we should have gone in order of when the conventions are happening.
Yeah, well, whatever. It is. Yeah,
it's next. Then we can do it in reverse order.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Hey, there you go.
It's okay. It's all good. So,
are we just gonna go?
We're just gonna go. I started talking, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay,
so,
you keep going.
Okay, so June 26th and 28th is Indie PopCon, which actually coincides with the anniversary of this podcast somewhat. Because I attended Indie PopCon last year, and then we did like our first show like the week after. So
yeah, that was like one of our first episodes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so they are slowly announcing guests, and I fully expect for them to announce more. And they said they will be announcing more as they can confirm. But as we talked about it last year, they had Sylvester McCoy last year, was one of the big names last year. So PopCon's a little different because it's not just like TV and movies. It encompasses like all of pop culture. So I mean, they do authors and artists and like YouTubers and all this. So you know, it's if you could take our podcast and turn it into a convention.
They're like everything, but I don't think they've done YouTubers.
Yeah, so PopCon is a little different when it comes to their guest list. So there several of the people they've announced, I don't know who they are because they're YouTubers, and I don't know, they're not people I follow. If you're into wrestling, they're having Chris Masters, who is the Masterpiece, who used to wrestle in WWE. So there's that.
Okay.
They're bringing in people who are, depending on where you sit on the fence, are the people responsible for bringing us Sharknado 1 and 2, and apparently are going to bring teasers for Sharknado 3. So, yeah.
I'm sure there will be people interested.
Oh yes, they're bringing in a couple of people that have been on the TV show Face Off, which is a competition show. They're for like makeup artists.
Yeah, I've seen,
which is a really good show.
Really,
it's really good. And people are really talented.
I like that. One episode I saw was like this Alice in Wonderland makeup scene. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My quick story. My sister is in like a stage makeup class right now, so I've heard about this show, and I'm just like she showed me all her little things she's done, and I'm like, dude, there's an actual competition show about that?
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Hey, an actual competition show.
Yeah.
I would watch because like my sister watches.
I think there's another one for set design as well.
That wouldn't surprise me if there was, but for me personally, the guests that they've announced. Well, another one of the guests they've announced, and I've never seen this particular movie, but I know like some of you guys have. But Sam Jones from Flash Gordon. Break out the Queen, you know. I guess so.
Get an autograph for Sean and Glenn.
Yeah. Go right next to the Brian Blessed. Yeah. Go right next to the Brian Blessed autograph. Yeah. But the two that I'm most excited about of the people they've announced so far are, one, John Delancey. Hello, Q from Star Trek. Yeah. And Torchwood. He was on Torchwood, so we got a Doctor Who connection there.
A few episodes of Miracle Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
An episode or two.
And he was in Warehouse 13 as well.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a brony, he's Discord in My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. So, which, side note, even if you're not like interested in like My Little Pony and all that, there's a documentary that's on Netflix. It's all about bronies, and John is in it, and does like the voiceover, some of the narration and stuff. It's a really if you're somebody that's just into documentaries, and especially ones that talk about like popular culture and all that, it's a really interesting documentary to see the inside of a fandom, especially if it's one you're not part of, because I imagine that there are probably people that look at like us as Whovians and probably think the same, some of the same thoughts, like, what is this? What are you doing? You're all a bunch of crazies. So if anything else, it's a good look into a particular slice of pop culture fandom, and learn more about like the people behind the whatever it is, in this case a cartoon for little girls, and the fans behind them. But that's and I'm sure John will talk about it when he comes to the convention. But for me, first things first, he's Q from Star Trek, so from Star Trek Next Gen and Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So
yep.
And then the other guest that I'm super excited about is Sophie Aldred. Break out the Nitro 9, folks! Ace is coming to town. So they've been
Nitro 9.
Yeah, they've been teasing they were gonna get somebody from Doctor Who, and of course we're all like, who's it gonna be? And then they finally announced that it's Sophie, so that's super exciting, especially considering we had Sylvester last year. So
man, they missed each other by 1 year.
Yeah.
Darn it. Oh well.
Here's your chance this is our chance to get a matching Doctor and Companion
bumper. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's right. Finally have one. Finally have a set.
Yeah. Fair warning, Sophie, we're going to get a bumper from you, so we have a matching set.
We'd get one from you anyway.
Yeah. So, but that, it's exciting. I had so much fun at PopCon last year, and I've had nothing but, nice things to say about it. And they're, the people that run it are like, so nice, and, they're very into listening to the fans. They've got, the con itself has got like its official Facebook page, but then they've got a secondary like group page where you can join and people can ask questions, and they'll put call outs like, okay, YouTubers, who would you like to see? And, you get like 100 people just dropping names and links like left and right, and the guys are like, okay, we'll email, I'll shoot out some emails and see who responds, and it's just, it's very cool the way that they're running this. It's just very personable and making sure that the fans feel involved in the convention, so, which is awesome. Yep. So very excited for PopCon coming. Glad it's not too close, though, because my wallet is still recovering from Indie Comic-Con. Anyway.
Not full wallets. They get so abused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth it, though.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm digging out from under a mountain of debt thanks to Galley.
Which is why I'm sure you're glad Fan Expo is far away.
September.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Fan Expo, they have announced 3 guests in the past 2 weeks. So first, on March 25th, was Robin Lord Taylor from Gotham. And then on the 27th, Tyler Posey from the show Teen Wolf. And finally, on March 31st, the one I'm really excited about is Clara Oswald herself, Jenna Coleman.
Woo woo!
Woohoo!
And I
You have
swear,
another chance to get a bumper.
The second I read that email, I took a
Screenshot
of my phone screen and sent it to our Facebook chat.
Yeah.
So
She's coming! Jenna's
like,
coming!
These 4 ladies were the first to find out. Like, other than people, like the first outside of people who got that email, they were the first to find out about it. Because I was like,
I feel so.
I mean, I must tell my friends.
Oh.
So
It's good.
That's all they've announced.
I'm glad to know that we did not scare Jenna off conventions completely. She's gonna keep doing them, which is good. Although she did pull out of Emerald City Comic Con. I think she was supposed to be at that like last week, and she pulled out for, I'm sure, because of filming Series 9. But
reasons,
yeah. But yeah. But we did not scare her off of conventions completely. Good job, people.
Early September should be like in between filming.
Well, yeah, because Series 9 should be on TV by then. So
yeah, Series 9 will be all done and wrapped.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be filming Christmas special yet, if she's even in that.
Yeah. If they do one.
Maybe she will be, maybe she won't be. Too early to say.
Yeah.
But Series 9 should be wrapped. Christmas special hopefully won't have started.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think they filmed that in August.
Huh?
I thought last year they I remember seeing a tweet from Jenna that like they wrapped mid-August for Christmas, but maybe I'm wrong.
If that's the case, then they'll have wrapped
Everything.
the Christmas special as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so unless she does something else,
Yep.
she won't have work conflict.
Which is always good.
I don't know if it's a rumor or it's true because I didn't really read it, but I thought that she might be in a movie.
Oh,
I don't know.
She's on the
Either way, get excited, Jenna.
She's on
Yeah.
list for 2015 celebrity guests. So, and I realize there's still time that anything could happen between now and September, but
for now,
be excited. Be excited now. I mean, she's now. They're planning on her. So
now, and I've already decided. After the cinema, when I went to see Deep Breath in cinema, they were giving out posters, and I think I'm going to get Jenna to sign that.
Awesome.
So,
you should ask if she still has Rachel's teddy bear.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you keep the bear?
Ask about Casey's teddy bear. Well, I mean, I asked about Planet Comic-Con when I met Karen, so...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Make sure to slip her another business card just in case she lost the one I gave her.
Absolutely.
Oh, my. Conventions make us excited.
But that's another story.
Yep. Oh. Alrighty, well that's it for news. A little bit of housekeeping. Marvel with Friends. We did do Thor Dark World last night, so thank you for everybody that got to join in. So that was fun. I hadn't actually watched that one, I think, since I saw it in the theaters. So it was a nice refresher. And Stanley still wants his shoe back. Best cameo ever! But
outside of his Agent Carter cameo.
Yeah. But but we are almost done with Marvel with Friends, folks. We only have 2 more left. So we are doing Captain America Winter Soldier in 2 weeks on the 18th of April. And then 2 weeks after that, May 2nd, we'll be watching Guardians of the Galaxy. But of course, Age of Ultron comes out on the 1st. But that's okay. So we are almost done with Marvel with Friends, and I'm kind of sad, but kind of excited at the same time because I'm excited for Age of Ultron. But if you were thinking you were going to jump in here, you're running out of opportunities because we only got 2 movies left.
We got 2 more left, and then.
Yeah, and we're looking for ideas for beyond this. We have ideas for like one-offs, like flicks with friends, and Brittany has talked about bringing Disney with Friends back. And but if people have ideas for stuff that you think it would be fun for us to watch together and tweet along together, send them to us, and we will see what we can do.
We're not done with
watch this space.
Yeah.
Watch this space for announcements on what we're doing next.
Yep.
Because we will do something.
I like how we just basically took over these flicks with Friends from the boys.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They've got Friday Night Who covered.
We got the movies.
So we'll do the movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So, and if feel free to reference the Marvel Friends schedule. But if you are following along doing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 rewatch between now and Captain America Winter Soldier, you'll want to watch episodes 9 through 16.
Well, actually, 8 is
8.
The aftermath of Thor Dark World.
Yeah, 8 through 16.
I watched the first 7, and then I started 8, and the description is in the aftermath of Thor the Dark World.
Yeah.
Like, I guess not.
Yeah. Which I even tweeted that last night. Like when the whole thing started going down in the middle of, that area there in England, and with the giant spaceships and the creatures and all that. I'm like, and tomorrow Coulson and crew will be cleaning this up. See Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 8. So. So yeah, 8 through 16, season 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That'll take you up to Winter Soldier. And then after Winter Soldier, watch the rest of season 1 and you'll be good.
Yeah, I just remember when they were saying, "Oh, Thor: Dark World ties in with this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D." and they're pleading up. Everyone's like, "This is how you're gonna tie it all together." Lame. And then Captain America happened, and we're all like, "Oh, that's how you're doing it." Okay.
Yep. Just a little teaser. It's like a little teaser. First, we had to bring in Lady Sif, and then a bigger tie-in, and then Winter Soldier and Hydra.
Yeah. And apparently one is foil.
Marvel knows what they're doing.
Oh yes, they know what they're doing. So.
Anyway.
That's what's going on with that.
Oh, and may I say something really quickly?
Oh yes.
About my phototrons?
Oh. Yes.
I just want the phototrons with the ABCs of animation, and I just want to thank everyone. Quite a big tone out.
This time around.
From, for Instagram, Tumblr.
There's a lot of animation to choose from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's made us all very nostalgic.
Yes.
Yep. Making me remember all the things I used to watch and wish I had time to watch again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like my entry for C, I'm like, oh, it's Cardcaptor Sakura. I want to watch that again. Anyway.
Yep. So. Alrighty. Well, now that we've got news, housekeeping out of the way, we don't have any feedback, but that's okay. So we will move on. We will move on to this week's topic, which, once again, we're going to play my favorite game. Let's talk about something Rachel knows nothing about. This week's topic.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I didn't say I care, whether it upset me or not, because it doesn't. Because I'm learning. It's an education to me. But this week's topic is Outlander.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Outlander. I have to give a shout out here. Yes, I have to give a shout out here first of all to my colleague at the library, Elizabeth, for getting me sucked into this world. Because yes, if you know anything about Outlander or even peripherally heard about it, it's a book series of I think she's up to 9 books now, 8 or 9. I have to count. I don't remember the exact count, but something in there. And each book is a brick, but they're very interesting bricks. I mean, you look at these books, and you have no idea what genre to put them in. None whatsoever. At least, I mean, even at the library, we're all like, does it go in science fiction? Does it go in fantasy? Does it go in historical fiction? Does it go in romance? And the answer is yes.
All of the above.
All of the above. Military fiction. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Historical romance.
Historical romance. Oh gosh, and it's like it's so unique in that way. But anyway, what the basic idea is, and we'll just kind of be going over a little bit of the first book and maybe a little bit of the TV show, the Stars adaptation. Yeah, a little bit. Like a couple of weeks ago, because they came back from what has been termed Droughtlander. the mid-season finale.
You gotta love the names that we come up with.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The pick come up with.
Well, I think even the official social media things took that and it too. They were saying Droughtlander is over, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. But yeah, because the mid-season was like ended in October, and it just barely came back yesterday, first week of April. So it's like, oh my gosh. But So the first book the story starts out with a woman, Claire Randall, in 1945, 46, post-war II Britain. And she and her husband, Frank, they've been apart during the course of the war. He was in the military. She was an army nurse, very good at her job, very proficient in the medical field. And Claire is a very intelligent, capable woman. Like she doesn't suffer fools gladly. Don't take no crap off of nobody. She's awesome. We love her. And anyway, she and Frank are they're going on a second,
first time,
one and a half. First time and second time. They got married so quickly before the war. So this is and they changed. They're trying to rekindle their marriage, and so they go to Inverness, Scotland, and they hear these because this is where there's records of Frank's ancestors who were the 1700s. One of them was British Army, the Redcoats, and he was a captain. He was this great hero, and he's doing family history research. So they go there because the information's there, and in the course of this trip, Claire ends up at these stones, kind of reminiscent of Stonehenge, but it's not Stonehenge. And there's this festival this ritual going on of this I think that's what it is. And there's this dance going on of. It's Celtic. I'm trying to remember all my terms, but I don't. And they're doing this dance at these stones, and she kind of stumbles on it. She and Frank see it, and she hears something, and she goes back to the stones, and she gets sent back in time to 1700s Scotland. It's 1746, right before the Jacobite rebellion, and the Scottish Highlanders are about to fight the Redcoats, so she's dropped in the middle of all this. And it's not as nice as the modern world. Just put it that way. There's a reason this show is on Stars, guys.
Yeah.
Channel. But it's just, and she actually meets up with Frank's ancestor, call him Black Jack Randall, and the history books say he's this wonderful military hero. Oh my gosh, no.
But
yeah, he is. He takes. There's a reason they call him Black Jack. He is.
he's black.
His heart is black. He's not a nice person. First thing he tries to do is tries to rape Claire because he finds her out in the woods, and then this group of Scottish Highlanders finds her. One among them is this young man named Jamie Fraser, who, if you know the story of how Outlander came to be.
I do know that.
Yes. It's well known. It's well known in Doctor Who circles. Authors Diana Gabaldon.
Gabaldon. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Anyway, at least she. The reason she wrote Outlander is because she wanted to practice writing a novel. And she was trying, she never intended it to really be published. She just wanted to try it out. And if a few weeks ago the cast and some of the creators and Diana, I'll just call her Diana, we're best buds. We go out for lunch every weekend. Anyway, they talked to her, and she just started writing it, and there's she got into doing all this research. I think she used to be some kind of history professor.
Professor, and I kind of started to read a bit of the compendium. I mean, this woman's done quite a bit of stuff, which was amazing.
Yeah, and I think, and I can see where her desire, I want to write a novel just for fun, came from because of all the things that she's done. But why wouldn't you? Anyway, so she was, looking for a topic for her novel to be about, given a setting. She was watching an old Doctor Who episode of, with the second Doctor and Jamie, and she saw Jamie in his kilt, and was like, that would be nice to write about.
I think the episode was.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the setting she chose, and the funny thing is, she didn't know the name of the actor playing Jamie. The fact that she chose his last name to be in her book to be Fraser is totally a coincidence. Because for some reason the credit sequence on that episode got cut off, or she didn't watch the end of it, or something like that. So there was her setting, and Claire, she wanted her to be more or less a modern woman. So she's like, well, how do you get a modern person into historical times? Well, let's do time travel. And so that's kind of how it all starts out. So Claire ends up more or less rescued by these, rough and tumble Highlanders. They are all like, she's dressed in her 1940s clothes, and obviously that doesn't belong in 1746 or whatever year it was. I'm getting my dates mixed up. But so they take her back to the castle, and sort of, they realize that, she, even though she is English, she is clearly not a friend to the British or to the English military, because of, they tried to take her prisoner, attack her, and haul her off. And so they were like, well, we'll take her back to our place, and she can, we'll keep her safe until we can figure out what to do with her. And it's just, you read it, and it's so very well researched, just like the historical kind of stuff, and you kind of feel like, okay, Claire, you know about this time period for where you came from, but but her uncle was like an archaeologist. That is part of her backstory, and she a lot of them. So she went on a lot of historical,
where she goes through the medical supplies of the castle, and she's like, nope, this might be useful.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. And she's surprised the former healer had as many patients as he did survive because of all the treatments.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. Yeah, that she is like trying to do modern medicine with historical
technology.
What she had it. Yeah, what she had at hand. Like she tells everyone, wash your hands. Wash with hot water and soap, and everyone's just like, why?
Yeah.
Just do it. Because that's the kind of person she is. And that's her character. But she's not unlikable. She may be like, no nonsense. I kind of put her in like the same camp, I guess, as Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter. Is like where she, she's very, rule oriented. You do this and that, but she does it with a twinkle, and the kind of a wink and a nod. But at the same time, it's like she is in a very difficult situation. She has no one really on her side except for Jamie, but he kind of comes along slowly. Because I think there's definitely a sense that like he fell in love with her when they first met, but but that doesn't come through in the telling because it's all from Claire's point of view, and she's trying to figure out how do I get back to my time and my husband and my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so. So she kind of falls into the day-to-day. She they employ her as the clan healer because they're all like, oh wow, you actually know how to do these things. And she got that because Jamie was very badly injured when she first met him, and she was like, her army medical training took over, and she's like, don't you dare die on me, and she bandages him up, and then they're like, wow, you're really good at that. So that's kind of becomes her job.
Well, it was also a way to keep an eye on her to make sure that she wasn't actually working as a spy.
That's And so they take her out. They're like going around to all the villages that the Laird is over to go collect rent. They take her out, just whenever they take guys out to do whatever, because she's a healer. She's good at her job, and so she does that. And so she observes, learns how what the clan dynamics are, like who's in charge, how things are done, and just kind of her survival mode, basically. That's what she's in. And she uses her maiden name Beecham, which in the book the way it's spelled, which I guess it looks like Beauchamp. Beauchamp? I don't know. It's French. Yeah. But then they say it in the TV show, and it's Beecham, and I'm like, okay, I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, French is spelled. I mean, they'll spell it with 10 consonants and only use 2. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she has to make up various stories of like how she came to be there, and trying to dance around the fact I'm actually a time traveler. Okay, like that's gonna go over well in 1700s.
Yeah, and now she gets burned at the stake as a witch.
Yeah.
Yes. Which, spoilers if you've only seen the TV show, that does come up.
In book 1, yes.
Something to that effect. In book 1, yeah. But it's one of those plot points of like, well, duh, of course they have to go there with this. I mean, why wouldn't you? But it's done well in the book. I mean, I've yet to see what they do with the TV show, obviously, but and at some point they run into Blackjack Randall's group again, which that's why she goes by her maiden name, because she says her name's Randall, and they'll be like Blackjack, and we're like, oh crap. So that was pretty savvy on her part.
Yeah.
But she ends up in Blackjack's camp, and they're trying to figure out like how did a well-bred English woman get all the way up in Scotland. And she's trying to dance around the fact that Blackjack is like having none of it because he's just a slime ball anyway.
Surprisingly, looks a heck of a lot like Frank.
Yes, and that really unnerves Claire a lot, obviously, because it's like her husband is he's a nice guy. He's kind of bland in the books. I think the show made him a lot more likable, which I didn't like, because I'm like, it's Claire and Jamie. I know that kind of weird that she's married to 2 guys and they're separated by hundreds of years, but I don't want to like Frank. But you kind of do in the show, and you feel sorry for her because back in the 1940s. Frank is freaking out because his wife has disappeared and nobody knows where she is, and they can't figure out where she's gone, and they figure that they clear hhim of any potential potential foul play, but they're like they just can't find her. But Blackjack, he's awful, and he wants to further question Claire, but because she's under the protection of the clan Mackenzie, he has no jurisdiction, but he's still trying to figure out a way to get her. So the clan leaders decide, well, we're gonna keep you safe, but the only way to do that is if you're actually part of the clan. That involves getting married to one of the members, and Jamie is like, he's a Mackenzie on his mother's side, so he's part of the clan, but he's got his own he's on the run from the English too, because the English Blackjack actually tried to rape his sister, and there's several things, but he attacked. How'd it go? He attacked Blackjack for that, but he got
I think he got captured.
Yeah.
And then got whipped.
Yeah. He got.
Because he thought his sister
like
was
100
dead.
lashes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad history between Jamie Fraser and Blackjack Randall.
Yeah.
Just a lot.
Yeah, not
they are not.
They're not BFFs.
Nope. Yeah, like you see that scene in the show, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like bloody, gory. Like I don't do well with graphic violence like that, and so I was like, okay, just tell me when it's over. I'll look back, and I would like peek up and peek through my fingers to see, and like, oh no, not done. Not done. It's awful. It's terrible. And,
is it like Game of Thrones like violent?
In that scene, yes. Now this is the thing. Since you brought it up,
yeah.
Now Game of Thrones, I watched a few episodes of it, and I couldn't watch the whole thing because there's blood and they're hacking out heads and limbs and doing all this stuff left and right, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I cannot. Now Outlander has its moments of violence. There's not as much as Game of Thrones.
Right. Okay.
And there is also, nudity and sex and things. But again, it is part of the story. It's not just there to be like, hey, we can have a naked woman across the screen just because we can, because we're HBO. And it serves no purpose in the story. Outlander, those things actually have a purpose in the story, and that doesn't bother me as much as Game of Thrones did. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's totally personal preference. That's just me, but.
Well, it's a good gauge, as far it's like on the scale of violence, is it, you've got completely non-violent like Sesame Street, and then you got like Game of Thrones clear at the other end. It's like, where does this fall?
I would put Outlander about 3 or 4 levels below Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Like, it's still violent and still, it's not a PG-13 show. No. But yeah. But I'll explain it this way. Okay, and if you've got kids in the car and you're listening to it, pause it, cover their ears, whatever. So, like, in the first episode, Claire and Frank are on their honeymoon. What happens on your honeymoon? But, the way they portray it, the way they play it, it's not like, when they fart, when the nudity and stuff starts happening, it seems like it's natural. It's like, okay, yeah, that's just, and it's not pornographic, and it's just a matter of fact, and it's there. And so it's not like shocking, like here, beat you over the head with it. It's okay, yeah, this is a married couple on their honeymoon, and it doesn't last that long, and you're done. And even later in the season, like episode 7, when they have the wedding, Jamie and Claire's wedding, I mean, that one is like, whew, you need a fan. But the way they do it, and that's the way it's in the books, because Jamie and Claire were, for lack of a better word, forced to be married because of the circumstances, but it's still like Jamie is, Jamie is like trying to make it as pleasant for Claire, even though Claire is a lot more experienced in those realms than Jamie, which is kind of an interesting twist on the trope, the romance trope. Is that Claire knows what she's doing and Jamie has no idea. But, he knows what horses do, and that's it.
No.
They kind of show the awkwardness of it all, and they at first, but then as the night goes on, they actually talk to each other. Claire finds out about Jamie and just kind of about his family, and he always there's a sense of he wanted his marriage to be for love, but because of his trouble with the law, and he's on the run, and the Clan Mackenzie is is protecting him, but he, because he's a laird, he's a laird in his own right. He's got land somewhere, but he can't have it because of this, his criminal past. So he has to be in hiding, and so he kind of explains that. But he's very, he's just a big softy, and he wants everything to be. He realizes Claire is his wife. He has a duty to her because they're married, and he's just. And Claire realizes that not all of these Highlanders are, these big tough brutes that are, messy and disgusting. Like there's some that are actually quite kind, and Jamie gives Claire like his mother's pearl necklace, and it's very sweet and tender, and like because he kept it because he wanted to give it to his wife someday. And it was like, I want a Jamie Fraser. And it feels real. Like there's so much. There's a lot of realism behind it too, and not in the show and in the book. Like you feel like the Jamie and Claire could be real people.
Mm-hmm.
Holly, you're over there, just going, nodding your head.
She's nodding.
Yeah. I'm agreeing. Yeah. And just too, Claire has to be so careful too to tread the line about how much she tells them about what's going to happen in the history.
Right.
Because anything she says could change the whole, that line from the Doctor and the Aztecs. History cannot be rewritten.
Change history, not one line.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
she has to be so careful.
And she constantly reminds herself that there's all these Highlanders and the Battle of Culloden
or Culloden.
Culloden, yeah. That's coming. That battle's coming up, and she realized like these Highlanders that she's with, they're raising money for the Stuart Rebellion, and she's realizing like these guys, a lot of them are going to be dead in a couple of years because of this battle, and she doesn't and she gets to know them as people. Heck, she's married to one of them, and she's like she doesn't want to screw up history, but at the same time, it's like, and her knowledge of history is quite quite in depth, and she's like, oh my gosh, she could tell him. Well, at the same time, they probably wouldn't believe her, and burn her at the stake as a witch. But it's kind of it's very interesting way that she does it, but she just kind of, and after a while, you kind of forget she is actually a woman from the 1940s, and she just falls in line with all these people, and she just becomes part of their lives.
Mm-hmm. And then she also has to be careful with some of the catchphrases that she uses, because then Jamie's just like, well, what do you mean by that? Let me see. How can I explain this without giving myself away?
Yeah. Well, I watched the episode of the mid-season premiere today, and they get in a fight, and Claire uses some very colorful language, and she's yelling at Jamie. And later, after they make up and everything, Jamie starts asking her, what's that word mean? And she's asking Lane. It's so funny. Because Jamie is so, I'm sure legitimately he had no idea. At the same time, Jamie is very experienced in some ways of the world, in others he simply has no idea.
Very
and
naive.
It's so cute. It's very naive. But he's got a good heart. He's a good person. Claire could definitely have ended up being married to someone a lot worse.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, I just love Jamie so much.
Well, speaking of the season premiere, the two of them, they eat their tempers. They're both stubborn. They don't want to admit,
very much.
They don't want to admit that the other's right. It's just like, when they walk down to the main pub area after the night. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go stand over here.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because there is a scene, and it was in the premiere this premiere, and it was actually controversial in the book because Claire gets captured sometime after they get married. I mean, they're like stinking in love with each other, and it's so cute to watch. But Claire, because Jamie tells her, don't wander off, and she wanders off, and she gets captured by the English, and they have to go rescue her. And Jamie, he's a young guy, and he's got all these older men that he looks up to as mentors, telling him, this is what a husband has to do, and keep his wife in line. That's back in those days. That was the attitude. Those were the times, and that's true to history. And they were all like, your wife disobeyed you. You have to, show, have rule with an iron fist. You have to be the boss. You are the master, and she must obey you. And because she was disobedient, you gotta go. You beat her. Is what you do. And Jamie, I think I get the feeling with him, even as I was reading the book, even before I saw the episode, that he didn't want to do it, but
he went along with it to follow.
Yeah.
He was more forward thinking. It's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, he's in love with Claire. He loves her. He doesn't want to hurt her. Like, almost like he, something terrible happened to her, and he's just heartbroken over that. But at the same time, he's got all these guys saying, "Oh, yeah," he doesn't want to make it worse. And the whole time, but he does it anyway. He spanks her. And people, when they read that, were all like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you put that in there." And yeah, it's hard to read. It's hard to read about.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you do realize that, yes, this is historically accurate, these things did happen, whether, doesn't make them right, it's part of history. We can acknowledge that. But it's kind of an interesting step in their relationship because, Jamie is, he doesn't know what it's like to be married. He doesn't know what it's like he knows nothing about women, honestly. I mean, far from, just being a virgin and,
that one kiss at the blonde.
Sense. Yeah. Like he's kissed girls before, but beyond that, he doesn't know anything about relating to them at all. And so, he's still trying to figure it out, and Claire basically, tells him, you need, I'm your wife, you're not my master, you're my husband, we're equals. And all throughout their relationship, like I've read, I'm partway through book 4, but I won't spoil anything, but I will say, like, all through their relationship, they figure it out. They figure out how to be equals in this time period where that rarely, if ever, happened. And I kind of like that. That's what I really love about this, this series, is that they're real people. They have arguments. They disagree with each other, but at the end of the day, they still love each other, and they would do anything for one another. And I'm just like, oh, my heart.
Yeah, and they can kind of see from each other's point of view, too, why they were angry in that certain respect, depending on the situation, which is cool, too.
Yes. I mean, you want to talk about relationship goals in your life? Those two aren't a bad couple to aspire to, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm on chapter 11 of book 2, so it's getting interesting.
Yes. Yeah, and it's
How
just
to get back to that.
Yeah.
I don't even know where my copy is.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think how much to tell of the rest of the book, because season 1 on Stars they're about halfway through. I mean, some really bad, intense stuff happens at the end of the book, and I'm kind of wondering how well they're going to deal with it. because
some of those scenes,
Jamie,
that was really tough to read.
Yeah, and it's. I will say it comes back to Blackjack Randall. He's a pig, and that's the kindest thing I can say about him.
Yeah.
Yes. And Blackjack, he's like got this obsession with Jamie because he was the one that whipped Jamie, and Jamie's got these terrible and they do a good job showing it in the show. Like when he takes his shirt off, you see his back, and it's just covered in scars. Like there is not any part of his back that is not a scar at all. And it's like and Blackjack was the one that whipped him, and ever since then, Blackjack's just had this obsession with Jamie Fraser, and he would do anything to do him harm, which is one reason why he's also obsessed with Claire. Well, Claire, yeah, there's other stuff going on there too, but it's just, I mean, their animosity toward each other, it's interesting and disturbing to watch all at the same time. And I'm kind of wondering, how, when I get to that point in the show, I'm like, am I going to be, peeking between my fingers again? I probably will be.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm just kind of going to be like, okay, it happened. It's like, let's get back to Claire and Jamie being all lovey-dovey and cute.
Yes, please.
Or even if we're fighting, I don't care. Just have them do things.
This makes me nervous to get caught up with the book.
Somehow I could read about it in the book and be okay. Seeing it on screen is going to be a different experience.
Yeah.
Because in the book it's like, okay, that happened, move on.
So since there's so many books, but there are only so many episodes into the series, have they said, as far as books to TV, how they're gonna, is she's still writing? She's still writing books as it's going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it?
Oh
yeah.
She even has a spin-off of one of the characters that gets mentioned in the Outlander series as a offset.
Yeah, there's book 3. There's a character,
Lord John Grey.
Lord John, thank you. I was like, I know it's John. Is it Sir John or Lord John? But yeah, it's Lord John Grey. He first appears in book 3, I think.
I'm thinking.
And then he got his own
book 2.
Yeah. So he must be book 3 because I remember reading about it. I'm like, oh, you're going up the spinoff. Kind of the way that she's doing it is, and she explained this at Paley Fest, because she was asked about it, if she had it mapped out, and she was like, because she wrote the first book, and she was like, okay, there could be more here. So when she got it, she sent it to an agent and a publisher, they were like, and she just said, well, there's more, and so they signed her for a trilogy, a contract to do 3 books, so the trilogy. And then when she finished the 3 books, she's like, well, there's still more, and, it was getting popular, and they're like, well, hey, write more. I mean, if you've got it, write it.
Okay.
And just kind of, and then there are other characters that come in, and I will say that the book actually follows Jamie and Claire, the series follows them as they age and as they get older. So, I'm kind of wondering, because I'm to the point where they are, in their 40s and 50s, I'm like, are they going to keep the same cast as they get older, or how are they going to handle this, or are they just going to age them up? Because honestly, I can't imagine anyone else playing Jamie and Claire. I'm like, it's got to be Sam and Katrina playing them. I'm like, there's no two ways about it. I'm like, they could age them up, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's, and then there's other characters that get brought in, like Jamie and Claire's daughter, and she's got a guy that she likes, and that's, I'm getting to the point where that story is just getting going, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yay. I like this too.
Like, whoa. Daughter?
Spoilers.
You were talking about, like, whoa, daughter?
Hey, they can't.
Spoilers. But again, a lot of these books have been around for 20 years, so I'm like, how spoilery do I want to be?
Just remember, it's the 1700s, and birth control really doesn't exist.
Yeah, Sophie, quick question. Now, is this character that the daughter is seeing, is this the same person in book 2 that we meet? Or is this going to be, or is this another guy entirely?
I'm trying to think how to answer that.
Okay.
Okay, I will say, I'll have to tell you off, Mike.
Okay.
I don't think so. But I'm kind of confused as. I will say this.
Does the name begin with an R?
Yes. Tim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now
I'm all confused right now.
It's okay. You'll be unconfuzzled later. What I like about the show, I will say this: you see him in, I think, the first episode of Outlander. You see him as a little boy, like when he's little.
Oh, cool.
So he's there, and when I saw him and they said his name, I'm like, it's you.
Okay, now I know what the kids are talking about now, so, but but still.
Again, 20-year-old spoilers, so.
Yeah.
Hey, 20 years ago I was 4, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I did pick up a copy at the library, and I saw a copy of the book that just came out written in my own heart's blood. That's the name of the book. And I just wanted to look at it. And so I opened it up, and like the end papers have like the Fraser family tree, and like how all these people are connected, and I'm like, oh wow, you're going way in depth here. And this is like book 8 or 9. Plus there's a spin-off, plus there have been like companion books that explain all the like oh my gosh, the stuff she has done her research, and this is like Harry Potter levels of mapping things out. I mean, honestly, probably I don't know how extensive J.K. Rowling's mapping out of Harry Potter was, but I think she and Diana Gabaldon can compare notes of how much world building they do. I'm just like this.
Well, seeing all this stuff on Pottermore with J.K. Rowling and doing all these backstories of even minor characters,
Yeah. I mean, Outlander has the advantage of being based on historical events, so I guess there's that. But you still have to research it.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to know like what's historically accurate and that kind of thing. So it's world building in a different sort of way, but it's still the same concept. It's world building. So yeah, if you like, and I know I dwelt a lot on characters and the love story because that's sort of my thing. But if you like historical fiction, even without the romance aspect, you'll definitely find something to love here.
and at this point, even the 1940s bit are historical fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and they're getting to the point in later books where they even cover the American Revolution, or the lead up to that, and like there's so much that they get into, and it's really interesting, and even the parts that are quote modern day, like you said, Mitch, it's the 1940s are historical, and and then they fast forward through even to the 60s, and I'm sitting here going like, okay, my parents were born, but to me that's still a historical time period because I wasn't alive for that, although now I realize the 80s are becoming a historical time period, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
80s and 90s. Like, excuse me.
I am not that old. Oh, wait, yes, I am.
Yeah. anything that isn't right now is historical. So there you go.
Yeah. I think yeah. Thanks.
This makes me feel old. I know.
We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole at the moment.
No, we won't.
So, but no, I think it's funny that you got this TV show and all these books and like the spin-offs and the companions and all that. All she wanted to know is if she could write a novel. I think the answer is yes.
Yes, you can definitely write a novel, Diana. You can write several.
It's kind of yes and no, because yes, she wrote a novel, but no, she didn't write just a novel. She wrote all the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
The true answer to that would be if she had written a single novel and that was it.
Yeah. Well, yes.
But she wrote the novel.
Well, she
and
was
then
just
she
like
another one.
She opened up Pandora's box apparently, or
apparently.
Good for her.
And, as long as she wants to keep writing them, I will keep reading them. And the great thing about it is like each one is like 1,000+ pages. Like they are huge. These are big old books.
The chapters are quick though.
They are. And it's funny because I'll be reading one and I'll be in the middle of like one plot, like one story, one part of the story, and I'm like, and in my mind, because when I read a book, I think, okay, this is going to be the main plot. It's going to go throughout the whole story or the whole book. And I look at these books and I'm like, okay, this part of the story is just about resolved. I've still got 500 pages to go. Like, what's going to happen next? It's going to take me to the next plot point, or what's going to carry me through. And it's like there's all these smaller stories within the bigger picture, and it's just so interesting to see it woven together. Like any other series, it's like, okay, there's this conflict, here's this resolution, done, book's over. Go to the next one. Nope, this one keeps on going.
Yep.
And it's interesting. It doesn't feel like it's padded out to so much whatever. I mean, it's still
because they have the shorter arcs. Like, here's this plot. Here's this plot. Here's this plot, and now they're dealing with this, and that's done with. On to this.
Mm-hmm. And those are kind of interspersed with, there's like sort of slice of life, like here's everyday life, like Claire will be narrating and saying, the days, this is what we did every day, and this is what happened, and this is what I kept myself busy with, and Jamie was doing this, and it's like just, there's no conflict, but she still tells us what's going on, and even that's interesting. Even that's like, okay, yeah, I want to see how your life is when there's not.
It's world building essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah.
And world building in this kind of novel, whether they're in a novel that has, like, time travel and whatever, and it's dealing with a time period so long ago, in the case of the 1700s bit, is really essential.
Oh, yeah.
For, like, providing context for the conflict and the drama and all that.
True. So, you have to feel like you're there.
And it's well written world building.
Yes.
Which is really important. Like, most sci-fi fantasy novels need world building of some kind, and it's how good the book is usually dependent on how good the world building is.
Yeah. Like I point to someone like Brandon Sanderson. Like, if you've ever read anything by him, like his world building is so. Right? Yeah, Mistborn. His other big one is The Way of Kings. It's the Stormlight Archive. Like, I read the first and second. Well, there's only 2 of the Stormlight Archive out, but I've read those 2. And again, those ones you feel like you're there. You feel like this is a real place. These are real people, and you're like, I want to go read this history of this place, but it's something he made up, and it's like. And he's got like all these, charts and lists of, how things work, and the maps and everything, and I'm like, how in the Sam Hill? Like, I've tried making up my own fantasy world and such, and characters, and I get through the planning, but then I start writing them, and I'm like, how do I describe all this without it feeling boring? Like I'm just reading off a bunch of dry, boring facts. But I've got this really cool story I want to tell, but you have to know the world before I can tell you the story. And I'm just like, wow. And authors who can do that, I'm like, my hat goes off to you guys, because I've tried it, and I don't know. I'm like, I can imagine it, I can feel immersed in it, but describing it to someone else, it's a little more tricky. But yes, definitely, like the world building, that is key. Whether you're doing fantasy or historical or whatever. So anyway. So if you need a book, and you want a book that is going to keep you busy for, the rest of your life, practically. Yes. Although I will say this, I blame, quote, Outlander for getting me through to read to the mid part of book 4, because I'm like, this is a good chance, this is a good opportunity to do it. So,
you needed your change,
and I still love it.
And this is the way to get it.
Yes. And I like unlike some of my other shows, like, Librarians, where I'm sitting here going, I want to go back to that world, but there's only so much of it, and I've already gone through it. I can go back to Outlander and be like, yeah,
Look at all these books.
Look at all these books. I'm going to be here for a very long time, and I'm not going to get sick of it, so give it to me. All of it. And if you feel daunted by either the price or the size of the hard copy books, I would recommend getting them in ebook, because that's what I did. A, they're cheaper. B, it's virus to read those in ebook format. So, just a tip. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can easily find space for them on your, whatever kind of e-reader you have, Nook, Kindle, tablet, whatever you use.
App.
App, yes.
The only problem is you might forget you have it.
Yeah, it happens.
Put a sticky note up somewhere where you'll see it.
Yeah.
Something.
Keep it open in your app. I have an iPad. I have it open. When I go to switch out my app, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still reading that. So that's how I know. I am on page 448 of 1,935 pages.
Wow.
Of course, that's according to my account on my iPad, which it's in iBooks, so they count every turn of the page as a page, and it's not necessarily the size of the page. Page.
Still, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read anything that big. Alrighty.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
Although I've never listened to an audiobook of Outlander, so I couldn't speak to the quality of that. But
I'm very picky on my audiobooks.
Yeah. I imagine that's probably not something you'd want to listen to in mixed company either.
No. Yeah, I would be mindful of because there is some salty language and other stuff going on. Like I said, not for children, not for teenagers.
I didn't realize how bad, well, not bad, but how adult the show was. So I'm watching it when I was babysitting, and I'm gonna stop this.
Yeah, watch it after the kids have gone. If there are children.
Yeah, that's enough.
Alrighty then. Anybody have any last things? again, it's one of those that it'll go on the list of I'll get around to watching it eventually.
Maybe after we're done recording, I might have to find my copy of the first book and
crack it open.
Read it, like pick up where I left off, start reading again.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyone have anything else?
And the shows, and probably catch up on the show as well.
Well, the good news is that'll be easy because there are only 9 episodes.
Yes. As of today. Must be saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's now overwhelmed.
I'm still hung up on the daughter. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Too many fandoms, so little time. And spoilers abound, apparently. You've rendered Mitch speechless.
I was trying to dance around it, but I still felt it was something worth mentioning.
Yeah.
It does sound like it's an important plot point, but it's just... Yeah.
I was trying to illustrate the scope and magnitude of how much
I
this
sure
is.
you were, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. That's new idea.
Mission accomplished. I did my job. Thank you very much. Tip your waiter.
She'll be here next week.
Yeah, say it. If Mitch manages to put her mind back in her head, she will be here next week. Speaking of
all I
which,
can tell you is read the book.
yeah,
I will, as soon as I find it, okay?
Okay.
Scout's honor. Alrighty then. Well, now that Mitch is dead,
I didn't think it was going to be that big of a spoiler.
I think we'll
I guess
finish up here
I
before
kind
the
of
rest of us die.
expected that.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of it logically,
It's something I probably should have expected, but I don't know. It just...
I'm sorry, Mitch.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Well, and the way you were talking, it's like this is not a small child. This is like at some like we see this child grow up, and it's like, yeah, no, they have. I haven't even gotten to a point where she's pregnant or anything, and now I find out that she's got a daughter who's interested in a young man, and like, okay, this is real. This is bigger than I had previously considered.
I told you, it's very detailed.
I know.
Fair warning.
That doesn't happen until after book 1, but...
Yeah.
I'll get there at some point, eventually.
We'll all get
You
there.
may. All right.
So we better wrap this up so I can start looking for this book so I can get caught up so
Yes.
I can read about this daughter.
Yes. There we go. Good idea.
Yes, so we'll wrap this up and find our stuff all at the Fiveish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. We're on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, and iTunes. Send us feedback and support us on Patreon. And we're on Instagram as well. There we go. I covered it all.
We are everywhere, or almost everywhere. Alrighty then. Well, I guess with that, we will sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Fort Pierce saying good night.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
Wisconsin, the city
Fitch, Radio Night from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Good night, everyone. You have been listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.